Well, I didn't want to go back to the website and find that. I thought what was nice about it was that you could just be walking through an underpass and suddenly be exposed to this stuff and find out more about it then. So I liked it, but I wanted to know more about it in the place. There was nothing to tell me who, how, why. I recognise some of the pictures.
Stuff that is basically scattered around the city, nobody ever notices it.
Yeah.
Like this fancy castle, I think it's somewhere in Greenwich, built by, as a family home, by this architect who was fascinated by medieval times.
Just keeping farmers in business, coming into the city and teaching.
So, I wasn't going anywhere really, I was just stuck there for all these years.
Right.
So I just decided, I'm going to risk it now. Can't wait till I'm 40 because then it will be really hard to find a job. Let's just go and do it. And I applied for this job and I got it, so let's just go and dive into it.
And you got it?
I got it, yeah.
Fantastic.
They go there on a tour bus and it takes them to a particular place where they're all allowed to get out, and they sort of have a sign there saying photo opportunity here, and they sort of take photos here, and they're sort of led to these places where the view is prepared and sculpted for specific purposes, and very much of the world that surrounds us is sort of constructed to direct your vision in a certain way.
Yes.
And so much of the architecture is designed to draw your attention to the surface and to create a certain feeling and...
What did you call it? Scopic?
Scopic regimes.
Mechanistic, being part of the machine, and the only way to rebel against that was to be disruptive and go to the unconscious, unconscious, and the mysterious and the spiritual and the nonsensical in order to disrupt that process of becoming part of the urban machine.
Yeah, exactly. I remember some of Coleridge's poems about how he felt at school, like it was a kind of a prison. He couldn't even look out the window, and how if he had a son. I remember a poem, I think it's Frost at Midnight, where he's addressing a kind of a son figure, where he's saying, I was at school, I could hear the bells, I couldn't go outside.
Right.
And then someone went past the window, and it just evoked that sense of walking and moving along, and he was trapped inside. That was the main thing I got from the Romantics, that continuous sense of search, something that they feel is disappearing.
And this sort of interests me starting from what I do as a teacher. I started looking at how our classrooms are shaped and constructed to encourage certain kinds of behaviour, sort of implicitly.
Right.
You've got the teacher, the way everyone is facing the front. You've got all these chairs in a line, so they're not the students aren't facing each other, which doesn't encourage dialogue. I mean, they're deliberately all facing one direction to deter them from speaking to each other.
Yeah.
And they're all focused at this central point, which is the teacher. And the implicit message there is that this is where knowledge comes from. This is the expert, and you're to sit there quietly. He's the one that's speaking. He's up on the stage.
Yes.
All the attention is there, and so this is where information comes from.